What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Exos Heroes video. And in today's video we are going to take a look at their reimbursement really quickly, and then we'll go over FC Corgi. But before we do start, like and subscribe because it does help the channel, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. So without further ado, let's start this video with the reimbursement. I have personally already have gotten my reimbursement. I've got the 19,600 Zs already, so they are starting to distribute them starting today, all the way up to the 15th. So hopefully you guys get it a little bit early, and yeah, so you better get them though, because the Zs actually expires in 7 days. So that is a big thing, because usually they last for like 90 days if they're in your mailbox. So yeah, go ahead and check your mail and grab it. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's talk about FC Corgi. And as always, we'll go over all his abilities, skills, active skills, and passives. And then we'll talk about PvP and offensive PvP, I should say. And then we'll go over to the defensive side, and then we'll talk about PvE. So, let's take a quick look at his abilities. First off, with his passive skill, Focus Fire 2. This will afflict the target with the Focus Fire mark and will decrease their dodge and block for 1 round on a basic attack. They will also gain 1 mana when the marked target dies. Now, obviously, he will have Dimension Sleep, because this is the thing for the blooming stage, whatever. I still can't really think of a better way to say it. So he will have the Dimension Sleep, which is another mark. This will decrease the increase his dodge, for himself by 40, and his attack by 1,000 when they are attacked. Now, all Dimension Sleep mark on himself will be removed after a successful dodge. This can stack up to 4 times. Now, in my personal experience, I've gotten up to maybe 2 stacks of this, and then my FC shell would just dodge the next attack. Obviously 80 dodge is pretty high, so I'm guessing that's around the ballpark. You're gonna be expecting like 80 dodge plus 2000 attack. I mean, it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but if you don't get the turn, and specifically for Corgi, because he is fast, so he'll get his turn really quickly. You don't really have the chance to actually get this unless, you know, the turn count really goes in your favor, or the turn order, I should say, goes in your favor, and then you can get, you know, another in the next round. If your Corgi survives, then you can do a much higher attack. Now let's talk about his active skills. His first one is Requiem of Fire, which will require 2 mana, which is pretty much the same as his old one. He will do a 63% damage to all enemies and will afflict them with Burn, dealing 39% damage every turn for 2 turns. So to me, this is kind of like on par with Dorka. Don't quote me on that, but I do think that the overall damage is the same. I mean, I can probably check on that, but I don't want to do too much going here, going there, and coming back. So I do believe the damage overall is higher than his normal one, and I believe it's sort of in the ballpark where Dorka is in terms of damage. So it's not bad. 2 mana. I mean, damage over time effects. I think the better combination with this are the synergy characters. So like FC Janai, FC Aiden, and all those characters that have increased damage over time effect passives that they can apply on that, and that way he will do a much better damage overall. His skill 2, active skill 2, is Flames of Sin, which will require 4 mana and deal 525% piercing damage to 1 enemy. However, this is not a burst effect. Like, honestly, if I don't see a burst effect, I feel like they are fighting a one hand tied behind their back. Specifically for these characters that really, on paper, will probably benefit from that. But I kind of get it because signature force is kind of a thing now as well, so that's extra damage. But I do feel like he should have gotten a burst effect on this one. But you know, I'm not the devs. That's what they got. That's what they gave him. So yeah, we'll just go with it. Overall, you know, I think it's basically an improvement of his normal Corgi. I guess that's what we'll call it. And yeah, so with that out of the way, let's talk about PvP. Let's talk about offensive PvP first, which I don't think he's gonna change the meta. Let's start there. He's not gonna change the meta. He requires a little bit of babysitting in terms of, again, having a synergy character to help him with the overall damage that he's able to do with his first skill. Now, obviously, in offensive, you can't use a skill 2 straight away, but Corgi is one of the faster characters. I believe he's sitting at a base 110, so he's definitely going to be one of the first characters to move. That way he probably won't have the mana to activate his skill 2 straight away, because like mana generating characters are a little bit on the slower side. So at the moment we got FC Iris and of course FC Shell. I mean, FC Shell can probably help him because FC Shell also provides extra turn, but if you're gonna use FC Shell's skill 2 on Corgi, you might as well use it on someone like Bathory that can do AoE attack and has a burst and does a lot of damage than just one single target attack. And the other thing is, I guess it's not fair to compare Corgi with other Fated characters, but I feel like it's justifiable right now because other Fated characters aren't really that hard to get really at this point in time, unless you're really bad. you really had bad luck, I should say. Not that you're bad, I'm just saying if you have really bad luck. But chances are you would have gotten another Fated character. Rudley is probably one of the easiest one to get that can do high amounts of damage with less mana. And we're talking about not a Fate core Rudley, but just a normal Rudley will do a much better job in terms of burst damage. So, and I don't think you're gonna be using active skill 1 that much anyway, if you have a choice in offensive. But right now, it looks like you don't have a choice but to use active 1, because yeah, mana generation isn't gonna give you 4 mana straight away, especially for faster character, unless you make sure that Corgi is your fastest character and then you back it up with FC Annie, and that way he would have a single he would have the that effect that has like gained like 3 mana, I think it was, and then you can use your active 2 straight away. But if you're gonna do that, you might as well bring like another character, a much different character that can probably do a much better job. I know it's not fair to compare him, but this is a Fate core versus a normal Fated character. I think I can justify that. That it's actually easier to get that character rather than this FC one. Obviously, the issue is going to be the banners. This banner is obviously up, and then the chance of you getting some of these Fated characters are obviously very low. But honestly speaking, there's other ways to grab these characters right now. Scouting, it's probably not the best example, but you can definitely get some of these characters by just pulling on like Door of Creation, or using lots of your legendaries in Door of Creation to maybe get another Fated character. So there's other options. There's just really other options rather than FC Corgi in offensive PvP. Okay, now let's talk about defense. Honestly speaking, when a character is mediocre in offensive, they tend to drop in defensive. And that's just a fact, because this, like I always say, you are at the mercy of the AI. There's really not much you can do about that. They will use active skill 1 first always, and then skill 2 in the next round. So chances are he's not gonna do much. Even if you build a team around him, he's just not gonna do much. That's just a fact, unfortunately. And I'm being nice, like I'd say he's in the in the mediocre area, but if I'm brutally honest, he's probably in a tier below that, because again, I just can't think of other characters that I would rather put in my team rather than FC Corgi. So yeah, defense wise, just not gonna work. Now in terms of PvE, damage over time is very, very nice. Damage over time will remove like armor cores, you know, every turn, as long as the damage over time effect is still applied. For his one, it lasts for 2 turns. Now he's a legendary hero, so you'll get a lot of copies of Corgi. It's really easy. As you play along the game, you will have multiple copies of him, and you can transcend him, and transcending him gives you the option to use enhance element. That way you can break more armor cores, plus with his damage over time effects, it will, you know, break more armor cores basically. So in terms of fire days, he's definitely gonna be helpful, because he is fast. He is one of the faster character when it comes to, you know, the fire characters. There's a lot of fire characters that are pretty fast, and he is one of the fastest. And you know, it's gonna help you break those armor cores, and if you have enhanced element, it's gonna help you on those lunar solar trade routes and all that. If you're still struggling with them, he's definitely gonna help you there. I would highly suggest having a enhanced element on him on that, because there's a lot of counters. The enemies that do have counters and thrusts as their passive abilities, so you don't want Corgi to just take all of those hits and die. So the best thing to do is actually give him some enhanced element, and that way you can break the armor cores and, you know, go ham with the damage. That is if you haven't been, you know, just autoing it. Like if you can auto it without FC Corgi, then you probably, you know, don't need FC Corgi. And in terms of Holy Dragon Grounds, I mean, again, it's just breaking the armor cores. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have any Dragon Blessing or, you know, Dragon Knight or anything like that to help damage in the dragon, but that's not to say he's not going to be helpful. Again, being able to break armor cores, multiple armor cores, is going to be very helpful in terms of your damage overall. Now, would I bring him? I'm not doing too badly in Holy Dragon Ground, so I probably won't actually use him at all. But if you are still playing around with your teams or you don't have a lot, he's definitely going to be helpful in that regard. Other than that, there's really not much to talk about. I guess let's talk about my thoughts overall on FC Corgi. Is he going to be worth your zest? To be completely honest, no. If you need a husbando, then I say go for it. But if you're trying to save up a zest, I think this is a great you know, a great banner to pass on. You probably just wait for the next gold fate core. Hopefully that will come out next. I'm not exactly sure. We may get like a blue fate core next. Another blue fate core. But anyway, yeah, that's all I can really say in terms of FC Corgi. You know, I just don't think he's gonna change the landscape in terms of meta characters. So that is it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help this channel, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. And of course, you can follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below what you think of FC Corgi. You're gonna pass, you're gonna pull, let me know down in the comments below. And you can also let me know that you have received your reimbursement for the Zest for FC Shells banner. Let me know down in the comments below. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.